You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Welcome to Rom Wills About That Business. Location is key. You know what? Reportedly, Ray Kroc, the man who he didn't really start McDonald's, but he made it into what it is. Reportedly, he said he wasn't in the restaurant business. He was in the real estate business. And it was all about location, location, location. I'm going to tell you what. If you have a brick and mortar business, your location is key. Your location is everything, right? I got two stories to tell about that because I mentioned this in my last video, right? Mentioned this in my last video. I'm in the Bel Air area, but I go to the White Marsh Mall. One, because it's a pretty good mall. Getting kind of ghetto though, but that's another conversation. Anyway, right? There was a Cajun restaurant there that I was looking forward. I was looking forward to that piece, beans and rice. I was looking forward to that sausage. Man, it was closed. But I saw a problem with it even when it opened. Because it was one of those restaurants. I mean, it was next to an Olive Garden. But it's not. Just the name of it and everything. It wasn't. And it's bad. I can't even tell you the exact name. That might have been an issue too. But it was next to an Olive Garden. But it wasn't really. Even though it was had proximity to the mall, it was kind of across from it. It kind of sat alone. It's one of those places you had to know was there. I mean, even just driving along, it was easy to miss. Like if you had to be driving from a certain direction to even see it good. Because one thing, if you were driving from one direction, you could see it. You were driving from another direction, you would drive right past it. And I noticed that. So it was all the way around, it was in a bad spot. Because if they really wanted to make it, it probably needed to be actually in the mall. It needed to be one of those joints in the mall. Right? But, I know they were trying to do different things and everything, or some way closer. Because you had other restaurants that are closer, like, Buffalo Wild Wings. It's right in the mall. Right? Or not in the mall. You can't access it from the mall. You got to come from the outside. But it's adjacent. In fact, it was adjacent to Dave and Buster's. Right? And I'm mentioning all this. The issue probably was if it went out of business like that, traffic. Because one thing I noticed whenever I went there always plenty of space. But it was in the wrong location. I mean, see, Olive Garden could be kind of a standalone. People know about Olive Garden. That's like one of those, places when people think they actually doing something fancy, they go. Right? But they could stick it there because, people know it's there. People know about Olive Garden. Plus, you could see it easier. It wasn't hidden a little bit like this place was. All right? But it was the location. The location, that's very important. I'm going to tell you what, and that's something I knew since I was 10 years old. 10 years old, right? My uncle and aunt, they bought this little dive, right? And it was in this North Brentwood, Maryland, right? North Brentwood, Maryland, near Mount Rainier, right down the street from Mount Rainier for people in the D.C. area, right? And as a 10-year-old, I was like, this ain't a good idea, right? You're probably thinking, well, Rom, how would you know that? Because one, I looked at it and I was like, how y'all gonna get traffic? Even then, I knew about traffic because it was like one of those you know how you got those little small dive type of places in the neighborhood. Like, it's like just a little small place and all the neighborhood people go there and, and my uncle and aunt knew about it because we all went to this church that was down the street from there. Right. So we knew about it. So they bought it and It was interesting. They had me working in there a little bit, right? And actually, they did get some people who would come there, but couldn't figure out why they weren't making any money. And it was just a bad location. It was a bad location. And, as an aside, it turned out the reason that the previous owners made money because they were running numbers out of there. Hey, they found out the hard way, huh? But location. I'm going to tell you what, when you're setting up a business, it could be a restaurant, it could be a retail thing. Always scout the location. Even in a mall. Like a mall, I'm going to tell you what, in a bookstore owner told me this. He says you got to walk that mall at different times. Like, don't just say, oh, I'm going to put something in this mall, right? You gotta go at different times. See, okay, who's coming through at 10 o'clock in the morning? Who's coming through late at night? When is the rush? What's near here, right? Now, like I've always used that buffalo wing example of that guy with the buffalo wings. Now, he set up his first buffalo wing place. It was in PG Plaza, and it wasn't in the main food court, but it was kind of on the side. But it was in the main hallway, so people were always walking past it. Good location. The second buffalo wing place, it was right next to the movie theater, and I can't remember the name of that mall, but it's in Oxon Hill, and there's a movie theater right there, or it used to be there anyway. I'm not sure whether it's still there, but his spot was right next to the movie theater. Like, people had to walk past this place to get into the movie theater. They had to walk past this place to get out of the movie theater. And that dude was slick with it. He make sure he checked all the movie times. And he'll just have, like, especially in the summer, had the doors open. And as soon as those people coming out, they smell those buffalo wings, it's like boom. Yeah, but that was location. Location is everything. That's probably even more important than a business, because there's a lot of people who will set up a business, but they ain't think about the location. Even in vending, that's one thing in vending. I will ask the person, where you got me set up? And especially if they give me a choice, I'm like, okay, don't want to be right here because people walk past me. Like, there was one place I vended, and I actually had some pictures of it on this site, but like some videos from about this time last year. It was a Black Friday event, and I didn't set up right at the door, because I said people, they see it right away, but they'll walk past, right, buy some other stuff, and then they don't have any money left for the person at the door. So I set up kind of in the corner where I knew they were going to walk past, and that was at the place where they would still have some money and I can get some out of them. Location is the key. So anyway, right, that's it for now. Let's go make that money.